Welcome to TLC for the Soul podcast, where soul meets spirit. You have entered into sacred space. I'm your host, TAMI Chambers, and I'm here to help you shine. Now let's get going on this podcast journey.
Hello, and welcome to the show. Welcome. Take a minute to come on in. If you're watching on YouTube, hey, you can actually see me. If you're listening on the podcast, hello. If you want to see me, jump on over to YouTube. Links to everything I talk about are always in the show notes. I'm going to back up the camera just slightly. All right. Hello. Here we go. It's a beautiful spring day today. Got my lemons shirt on. Let's see. Here's what I thought we would do, although I'm going to leave it open to the guys, but let's just come on in. Let's just take a deep breath together. As I wrap us all in love light and light love, inviting in the guides who overlight TLC for the soul, Archangel Michael, Archangel Metatron, the Pleiadians, and many others. I'm coming in a little, not cold, but I'm coming in without any agenda today other than to talk about the month of May. To maybe pull us some cards and do a little pick a card at the end. My plan is, unless I get derailed by the guides that are here, is to just sit in front of the camera with you and talk a little bit about the collective messages for May. And then we'll switch the camera angle if you're watching this, and we'll go to the tarot table and we'll do a little pick a card for you for the month of May. For this Sunday, let me just do my little housekeeping. For this Sunday's Bringers of the Light, I have not started a new channeled story yet. If you did not listen last Sunday, we finished The Rose of San Juan Capistrano. I haven't published it yet in ebook form. I'm going to finish the audiobook recordings. And then put it out there. All my ebooks, everything I talk about here, like I said, the links are in the show notes. All my ebooks are free to read at all major providers, Google Books, Apple Books, Barnes and Nobles. The link to my Smashwords publisher is there, and that's my son in the background if you hear like singing. Sunday's Bringers of the Light show is going to be a show centering around what the guides are having me call grandmother codes. And I'll kind of go into it in more detail then, but there's going to be some downloads, some activations, and some reassignments to some of your Bringers of the Light work coming up here for the month of May. And so they want me to just introduce that as a topic that's coming up. Number one, it could just be a confirmation of messages or ideas or downloads you've already been receiving, or, it could be new news or whatever, that this is coming and to be on the lookout for it. So we will talk about the grandmother codes on Sunday. I'm picking up, also on Patreon, I've started doing a Motivational Monday show for the Bringers of the Light tier and above. It's just a video where we sit down on Monday. I kind of do it in the morning with, I'm not doing a live, but I'll record it, and then we're going to plan our week ahead. We do some energy cleansing. We bring in some blessings for your projects, and we sit down with our to-do list, which is basically the things I've got here. I sit down with my wishes and intentions book and my monthly calendar and to-do list, and we just plan together. You bring your stuff, and we plan together, and then we clear our energy and get, all revved up for the week ahead. And then we ask the guides to come in and bless those projects. And I can say, based on all the projects I put down, I think I've got almost all of them already completed. So that is really helping me, but it does not help anybody else. All right. So I drew out my May calendar. There's not a whole lot on it yet, although the new moon is coming up here on the 7th, which is this following Tuesday. If you're listening to this when it drops or right around there, this is, you can listen to this at any time. The 5/5 portal is on Sunday when I am delivering that Grandmother Codes episode. So maybe the 5/5 has something interesting coming through in addition to what I've already been shown and what the guides have already shared with me. So I will leave that for then. And then we have a full moon on the 23rd. Somewhere down in there around that time, we'll move into Gemini season. And then we have a Memorial Day holiday on the 27th. But in terms of, big portals and all that, I think it's a relatively kind of quiet. There's still the whole, there's still some astrological things happening, but it doesn't feel as major as, the eclipses and Jupiter Uranus conjunction and all of that. When I drew a card the other day for the month of May, I pulled from the Lemurian Star Child Oracle. And I got one card. It was the card of portals. So I have been trying to just be open and receptive to what that means. And I've had much come through. I do want to mention this too, as the first thing that started showing itself to me was Diana Cooper. I kind of followed her more in the peripheral, but she's part of my whole part of my whole Grandmother Codes episode. But she came on with some portals that she's making in her garden to some very different, it's not all like planets and stuff. There's some angelic portals, some portals to planets, some portals to different dimensions. And she is doing I think it's a live on the 5/5 as well, to dedicate and bring in, activate these portals. And she was asking each one of us if we felt like it to maybe make our own portals in our own space to those same places or to anywhere else we might feel called to do. She did hers using, she actually created stepping, concrete stones, with her granddaughter. And she went on her land and found all these pebbles and painted them. And she gets very specific. She gets very specific instructions from her guides on, the exact color. She's very much into sacred geometry and color, color frequencies. But if you are interested in any of that or in following along, I will be following along with that and trying to do something here myself. I felt like portals was coming up before I even got the card about creating stuff on the land. For my bringers of the light out there, you have felt guided to either wrap up and close up and clear up maybe portals you've used in the past and open newer, higher frequency ones. Or I know some of you are very, divine mathematicians, and you work a lot with sacred geometry, and you may be being guided to update, some of the geometry that you're working with, and all of that good stuff. So portals, especially if you're doing any of this bringers of the light work, if you're in service to others, which I think everybody watching here pretty much is, then pay attention to how the concept of portals starts showing up in your own everyday reality. I think there's new guides. There's the potential for new guides to be coming through for what I call integrity upgrades. When I work with Archangel Raziel, I work with him as he's like my angelic teacher, spiritual guide, Hierophant type energy. And he helps me to understand the inner mystery school and esoteric teachings. And then there's some other guides that kind of work. There's this hierarchy. So you may start to get more tuned into spiritual hierarchies. And I'm going to save some of that for the Grandmother Codes, just kind of giving you a teaser. But new spiritual hierarchies, such as the Earth Councils of Light, the Galactic Federation, Commander Ashtar, some of the starseed federations, galactic councils. You may start being opened up to more information about them in preparation for maybe some new assignments that you weren't expecting. And they are what I call integrity upgrades. That's what Archangel Raziel calls integrity upgrades, meaning like you've been doing the work. Now you are, if you so want to do so, you are being invited. It is, they told me by invitation only, you're being invited to maybe become an ambassador of, you know, one or multiple or many different, or pick one or whatever. I don't know how it works exactly yet. I'm still kind of getting all the information and trying to like suss it out as to what's happening here. But much more to follow on that throughout the month of what information is being shared with me, and maybe how you want to tap into that, or, you know, maybe new things that are coming up for you. I thought it was very fun and serendipitous of them too, because I went on a walk. I'm already going into these grandmother codes. I went on a walk yesterday morning, and I got this whole huge download about ambassadorship and being asked to become an ambassador and work with some of the higher light beings and masters who are part of the Earth councils and the Galactic Federation councils. And you know, when it comes to working with the Earth, you know, I'm like all in. You know, I was like, yes, I'm all in. And, you know, they brought up like Lyra to me is a very, you know, it's a trigger point, because I was there when Lyra was destroyed. I've talked about this before in other shows. I want to go into a lot of detail, but they brought in all these key points. And then I came back to the house, and there was a pick a card by, I like Silverleaf Tarot. She's out of New Zealand. It's very high vibe. And the reading that she did for my pile was pretty much, exactly the download that I had gotten, all the way down to like Lyra, you might have been there when the planet was destroyed. I was like, oh my God, that is, if that's not, you know, if that's not parrot guidance and serendipity, you know, I don't know what is. So pay attention to the guidance that you're getting. And, you know, I don't necessarily need a confirmation, but I think it's really fun when those kind of things do show up. And I was like in tears, like, oh, blah, blah, you know, this is happening. So we've got the portals card. I do want, and this one wanted to come over here. It's the cosmic self. So I think we're continuing to integrate in the month of May all the huge energies that have come in with the solar eclipses, the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, you know, all these like once in a lifetime, and, you know, it doesn't happen again for 20, 40, 50, 75, 100 years or whatever. I think we're continuing to integrate that. There's some ascension symptoms, you know, coming in. And I noticed, you know, I'm in the Northern Hemisphere. It's May, beginning of May, and this is really when spring starts to like spring around here. The trees finally start to like look like they're blooming. They're getting there. The leaves still aren't there yet, but they're almost popping out. It's been raining on and off, and then there's been some nice sunny days. The wind is blowing right now. The window's open a crack. The air is still a little cold. It was in the 30s yesterday. It's going to be like 50 degrees, I think, today, but there's going to be a little bit of sun, but maybe it's the wind around here, you know, the wind. But the sun has been super strong. So I like to do some sun gazing, and I can usually, like, you know, look at the sun any time of day and catch like a good glimpse for a few seconds. If it's lower in the sky, I can really stare at it for quite some time. But even this morning, where I was in my bathroom, the window, now the sun comes up right on the horizon outside my window. And I was like, wow, it already feels really strong, meaning that, you know, you look at it and you can't almost like look away right away because it's the strength of it. So we're still getting, you know, these neutrinos and all this like good, you know, crystalline light body upgrades and so forth. All right, any other collective messages for May? In this pick a card, I've got special messages for twin flames. I've been carrying around my twin flame Lemurian for the past couple of days. It's an angel aura You know, and I got this. This is so interesting. Before I even knew anything about a twin flame journey, I went to Sage Goddess when I used to be blessed, when I used to be able to actually go there in person and sit in on those circles and everything in person when I lived in California. And I picked up this stone, and I was looking for like a protection stone. And I didn't know anything about twin flames. I didn't know this was a twin flame quartz. I didn't really know anything about Lemurians, but when I picked this one, I just felt so protected and so safe. And I thought it was like angelic frequencies and the angel aura and all that. And then as I learned more about the twin flame journey, and I looked more into like some of the crystals, I mean, this freaking crystal is absolutely amazing. It is a Lemurian. It is a twin flame Lemurian. I mean, they're together. I can't get any more together than that. It is a Lemurian. It's got all the etchings. So this is a good one. So stay tuned for that if you're a twin flamed. I'm not going to tell. I don't even know the piles. I haven't even set out any of the cards yet, but I know there's going to be special messages for twin flames this month. Everyone that's out there in terms of the astrology has been saying what a huge manifestation this month is going to be huge for manifestations. Sometimes I take that with a grain of salt. I guess you continue to stay optimistic, continue to stay enthusiastic. It does feel like the frequencies are really, really high right now. And if you're trying to manifest something, even if it is something that feels like it's been taking a little bit, I'm letting them channel through me too, like it's taking a little bit longer. This is like prime time for manifesting this month. So don't fall prey to the like I just said, like, yeah, I'll take it with a grain of salt. Like, you have to keep staying in the energy of something's coming. Something's coming, something that I want is manifesting. The whole fake it till you make it, Well, we've talked about all this before. I don't want to go into too much of that again, but collective message is about keep your frequency high, do the best we can. We know every day is not, they're talking about having pity parties. When you notice that you're having like a little pity party, you need to switch that right away. Do something, anything. Today is kind of like, I don't know what kind of day it was, but it started out where it could have gone south for me. There's just some things going on in my reality where I was like, I just want to be gruff about these things. And I was like, just, for me, the best way to do it is like when you get nervous, focus on service. I was like, just give me stuff to do. I don't, I love talking to you guys. I love doing the work. We are working with Chaga and Chai, my new audiobook, and I've been trying to put out a chapter every day just because it's fun for me to sit with my morning drink and do a couple of chapters of the book. Chaga and Chai is really fun. The audiobook is up there on everywhere that this show is. It's part of the show, but I have created a playlist for it in YouTube and on Spotify, which is my podcast provider. And, use those too. I would say, I may not always do a daily reading. Sometimes I do the daily shorts. Or I call them almost daily shorts on Instagram, Spotify, and TikTok. But use the audiobooks. They come out almost every day. And use them just like we do on Bringers of the Light Sundays, where we channel in a chapter and we pull out and tease out the metaphors. Use these audiobook chapters for the same exact purpose, because I find that they align. That's the intention, right? I set the intention. They're going to align with whatever energy I want them to align, because they're my creations. I can do whatever I want. I can wield whatever power I want to wield. Here I go again with Miley. I can have what I want. I can be what I want. I can see who I want. There. So there. Of course, with all of the master qualities of discernment and, open-heartedness and Christ consciousness. And we're not forgetting all the mastery skills we've learned, right? Don't forget about those in your quest for, whatever it is. All right, we've got this, I forget what it is, Sword of Light Oracle by Radley Valentine. Let's see what else Archangel Michael has to say. And then I think they're saying this is the last message, and then I can switch over to the pick a card. Oh, no. Right? Guys, what? With the hourglass and the sword. No, it is not yet time. This is not the divine right time to take action. Please be patient. The opportune moment is approaching. All right, I'm going to have a clarifier for that. What? All right, they're saying look at the bottom of the deck. Oh, card number 22. Open your heart. No one is perfect. Stop judging yourself and others and let love heal this situation. It looks like that's a twin flame message to me. So I have a feeling one pile is going to be specific to my twin flames. Okay. I think I know what I'm doing. All right, I think what's actually happening here is these are the piles. Pile number 1 is going to be portals. Pile number 2 is going to be the cosmic self. We're just going to do it like this is what they're telling me. And pile number 3 is going to be no, it is not yet time. Open your heart. Card number 22 and card number 20, that's 222. I mean, come on, that's got to be their twin flame messages, but you never know where they might show up. So pick your pile according to what speaks to you. It may be one, some, all of them. I don't know. And I'm going to see you over here at the tarot table in just a couple of minutes. All right. We'll talk to you in a minute.
This episode was brought to you by Flame, Rockaway Point's one and only hot yoga studio. You can do this, Rockaway Point. Get yourself in for a Flame yoga hot body session with Sandra McGee. She will push you to your very limits in the over 100-degree studio temperatures. You are sure to get your hot yoga freak flag on. Go ahead and join us at Flame.